Do you see do you sense, have you guys done any work to figure out what has fundamentally changed in what people want now?
Yeah, I think fundamentally a lot of bhram that people had, a lot of illusions that people had about systems, spaces, relationships, whether it is between individuals or whether it is pacts between individuals and organizations, like a workplace and an employee. I think COVID has laid bare a lot of uh, truths that many of these were imaginary or or illusionary. And so I think organizations and individuals who have remained authentic, remained value based, remained committed to something deeper and longer term, are certainly going to benefit them, more than others who have used this moment to lay bare, and lay quite naked the transactional nature of their, either of who they are as individuals or who they are as organizations. So COVID, I think, has realigned everyone into a deeper quest for authenticity,
Hmm.
whether it is within one's own self, whether it is in one's personal relationships or professional relationships. And I see it happening, in my own life, with my friends, in the company I work with, and in other companies as well. People's capacity for accepting bullshit or manufacturing it or
Yeah,
pretending that it exists is going down. uh,
absolutely right. I mean, it's funny. We we did a whole analysis at one point on, or our own thought process on what's going to be different. And in the typical, I guess, venture jargon way, we said transparency and hygiene. And but the transparency part that you're talking about, I think it's very interesting. You point out that this is kind of essential in every aspect of life now. You're it's not just about it's not just I just want my companies to tell me. You make a great point. I want my relationships with my friends to be more transparent. I want my relationships with my partners to be more transparent. I want whatever it may be, because you're absolutely right. Because I guess it evolved a view now that says, all this stuff is going to change on a dime tomorrow again, and whether it's this pandemic or something else, you want to be invested in relationships that matter. And I guess people go through these evolutions in life where it's if somebody has a major illness or a death, for that moment in time, you say, "Oh, life is so precious. We must live every day like it's the next, like it's the last."
yeah.
Right? And then you go back to forgetting about that. And I don't know how long this stuff lasts, and I wonder a lot about the idea of, are these changes towards, I'm recording this right now from my house. I know you're in the office, but I'm in a view that says that it's okay. I can be more productive. I can do this. I can do that. I'm not traveling. But tomorrow, when suddenly the world is very free and open to go around, am I going to maintain this new perspective on life? Am I going to regress to the mean? What are we really going to take out of it? Is transparency of relationships with your brands going to matter the same way? Are
Yeah.
Indian consumers who are very specifically, let's say in the nicest way possible, value conscious,
Yeah.
and not necessarily quality driven per se all the time. Are they going to migrate towards brands that are inclusive if it's a premium to be inclusive? Are they going to migrate towards brands that are environmentally aware if it's a premium to do that? I'm hopeful that the role of technology will make it such that you can be environmentally conscious, inclusive, and still deliver a better product at a better price. And that is the sort of responsibility, I think, that we have as investors to make that happen, and you have within Godrej as a large company to deliver products with that mind frame. But I'm not sure if the consumer is ready to really make decisions driven by that. Are you finding that that's happening? Are you thinking that that's a permanent shift?
I'm finding that that's happening with employees and consumers because certainly I work. I mean, employees are also consumers, right? Because in a sense, you have to attract employees to your group. And I'm seeing more and more amongst, because I recruit, I talk to large groups of people. I'm seeing young India being very, as you said, value conscious and values conscious both.
Hmm.
Um, I am seeing very clearly the questions being asked about sustainability, about the environment, about treating everyone fairly and equally. And what's incredible is that it's, say, in my case, since I work primarily around LGBTQ inclusion, What's amazing now is that it's not just the queer students asking, it's the straight students asking as well.
Really?
Just and that's amazing.
They're asking what your policy is about it because they want to be in a company that has a.
Yeah, they're like, I'm straight, but I want to work for a company that treats my queer friends well.
Hmm.
So it's like, and this was different 10 years ago because I remember when I joined Godrej, I was like, when I joined Mahindra first, I was like, I'm gay, I want to be treated well. When I joined Godrej, I was like, I'm gay, I tell me about the policies so that everyone who's queer is treated well, right? It took me also some years to go into that link between.
Were there policies then when you joined either of those companies on it?
No, not no. So when I joined, we actually began creating the LGBTQ inclusive policies, and it's taken 10 years to, in a sense, where we are now. But again, policies are just the first step, right? So again, to answer your question, am I seeing a shift? Yes, I am seeing a fundamental shift in young people caring about things which are not superficial, essentially caring about authenticity, and they're very okay with, you know I mean, if you're bigoted, say you're bigoted. Just, don't lie because we can find out very easily. So with LGBTQ, for example, I mean, I'm okay if a company, I'm not okay, but if you don't have same-sex partner benefits, if you're not hiring queer people, if you do not have, you're not paying for insurance or for gender affirmation, if you're not, whatever, if you're not doing everything that will make you a good company overall, and then in the end, when Pride Month comes, you put one rainbow filter around your brand, and and this has happened to so many, like Zomato and all these others have been called out. Thankfully, Zomato and all course corrected very quickly.